today's word a few days ago was humble, which I know we've recently, but I guess he still has some work to do in this area. But cool testimony from this morning. I had prayed last night for the Lord to help me, get the rest of this word pulled together so that it flows and it's nice. And I'm like, Lord, I need your help because I can't do it. Well, anyway, I open up a new Bible study going over humble and just kind of doing my own little Bible study. And in that Bible study, one of the first verses that was presented was Proverbs 11:25, which I have written down. And it's, the generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be watered himself. But what was cool about finding this verse this morning as I asked the Lord to help me pull it all together was, if you open your Bible app, I don't know if anybody has the Bible app, but the verse for today is Proverbs 11:25, which is, we can go to it, so everybody can read it.
I love those moments.
Me too.
It makes me melt on the floor sometimes.
I know, I totally was so happy, but not only did I get in, my new Bible study this morning, but the verse of the day in the actual Bible app was Proverbs 11:25. The generous soul will be made rich, and he who waters will also be watered himself.
I like how that one's worded. King James goes a different way that can make you think something different. But
read it.
the liberal soul shall be made fat. The fat part you could take wrong or whatever. And he that watereth shall be watered also himself. So pretty much the same thing, but a different word for.
But yes, and then the next part of really kind of getting into being humble, I have Romans 15:2. Mama, you want to read it?
Let me get there. Where each of us please his neighbor for his good, leading to edification, for even Christ did not please himself, but as it is written, the reproaches of those who reproach you fell on me.
Was that the full verse? Or is that into 16?
That is, no, I haven't.
That was 2 and 3.
Yeah, I just want 2, which is let each of us please his neighbor for his good, leading to edification. And what I felt like the Lord kind of explained to me with that one was let each of us please his neighbor for his good. So doing good to your neighbor, which will lead to edification. By doing good for somebody else, it's going to make them more curious about the Lord and can lead to edification. So be curious, which is what I got from the Lord on that verse. But I then wrote, what does it look like to try to be humble? Because it's something that I'm curious of. What does it look like for people to be humble? And then I had come across a saying that is humility is not thinking less of yourself, it is thinking of yourself less. So really, putting yourself aside and serving others.
When I first started my walk or whatever, this kind of goes with what you just said too, that saying or whatever. I kind of, and other people too, I think too, did also, because we had a Bible study or something about humbling or whatever. Humbling isn't you humiliating yourself. It is, like it says, thinking less of, it's not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking
yourself less.
thinking of yourself less. Yeah.
Yeah, and I just
That
thought
kind of
verse was
matches
a
up
really-
Amen.
because
It's a really good, what do you call it? Saying. of how
'Cause
to
I
look
used
at
to-
what humility is like.
people had said things to me, even in church, you know, oh, you're this, or like an insult. And I would just be like, oh, okay, it's okay, you know. But really, it wasn't okay. I didn't have to fight about it, but I didn't
Right.
have to take
Engage in that.
and take that word as that's what I am, you know.
So value others before yourself. I have Philippians 2, 3 through 4. I feel like we should all be getting pretty familiar with this verse. I think it
Philippians
goes a
what?
lot. Philippians 2, 3 and 4.
You want me to take it?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind. Let each esteem other better than themselves. Look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others.
And then I have Mark 12:31.
Oh, 31.
12:31.
Everybody there?
Yep,
Okay.
I'm there.
And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these.
And I wanted to stop there and really read like that last sentence again. There is no other commandment greater than these, which would to be love your neighbor as you love yourself. That part just kind of like blows my mind a little bit. Because these are the words of Jesus. These are right out of Jesus' mouth, saying there is no commandment greater than these. Which, of course, the first one is really important to point out, and that is you should love your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind, and all your strength. And the next verse that I have is Romans 12:3.
What was it?
Romans 12:3. For I say, though the grace given to me, to everyone who is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, as God has dealt to each one a measure of faith. And then the next one I have is John 13:34. I also like how many verses in the Bible talk about being humble. I'm like, there's so many.
John what?
13, verse 34. I also really love a part of this one. Somebody want to read it? You want to read it, Mom?
A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another, as I have loved you, that you also love one another.
So my favorite part of that one is actually the part where Jesus says, "A new commandment I give you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you also love one another." I think we often find ourselves like trying/striving to love people or live right, going through the motions, but our hearts can sometimes still despise people or still just like not want to do right and you're just doing it because